Hello, tiny people trapped within the confines of my computer. I'm Finn. And today, I'm not gonna make jokes. I'm not gonna make a cute little art piece. I'm not gonna throw a couple random things at a camera and joke. Today, I'm gonna talk about something a little bit more serious. Today, I'm gonna be talking about an issue that I deal with, that millions of other people deal with, and I feel like it's not exactly super stigmatized or anything. Is that the right word? I don't know. But it's not necessarily something terrible, like, it's not like something that destroys lives, but something that a lot of people deal with, I deal with, and I think it's looked at a lot negatively, especially in like a social way. For those who don't know, I'm insanely autistic. I am, I've only known for 2-ish years, and I've had an inkling of an idea for maybe 3. But my mother has 4 children. I'm the oldest, then my sister Anna, then Raylan, then Clayson. Raylan and Clayson are both completely nonverbal. They don't use words. They can verbalize in other ways, like screaming, crying, laughing, things like that, but they can't exactly communicate very well. And they are very... I don't like to use like terms like heavily autistic, because that's not how the spectrum works. But they are more of what you like think of when you think of like, a special class, because that's kind of the area in which they've been put into. And then the middle baby, Anna, she has her own issues, but they are not exactly neurodivergency issues. But I do. Oh my lord, I do. It's bad. But not... being autistic is not something I look at as a negative thing. I look at it not as like a superpower, but as something that is part of who I am and that I have learned to love. But there are parts of it that are like incredibly difficult to deal with. And as of me recording this, December 11th, earlier today, I was in Walmart. I was getting a few things, art supplies, and I got drinks, all sorts of jazz. And I had an autistic meltdown. Maybe breakdown's a better term. I had a not good time. I had a lot of overstimulation from... I had been at my mother's for a while, meaning I was kind of in a confined space, sort of out in the woods, but in a town. This is very underwhelming, and it was very comforting to be there. And then I came home and immediately went into Walmart, and all of the lights and people moving around was enough to be visually too stimulating. And then on top of that was all of the people. The cart I was pushing had 2 wheels, the front left and back right messed up, so it was making weird noises. That's not good for you, sensory stuff. The music was really loud. All of the people were incredibly loud. Just so many little sensory things. And then I was in the back of the store looking at fidget toys. Great time to have a breakdown over that stuff when in front of fidget toys. But I was looking at some, and then I heard a child yelling 2 aisles over, and I just broke down. I pushed my buggy out of that aisle and off to the side, and then I just kind of sat there by it for 12, 15-ish minutes. And it was very scary. Now, I've had moments similar to this dozens of times in the past year, maybe a few hundred in life. I can't point them all out to you, but it happens often for me. Not for everybody, because people are different, but for me it happens often, and it's always scary. And with most things like that for me, the first time is always like difficult, and then you slowly get better at dealing with it. I've gotten better at dealing with it, but it's gotten harder, which is a little bit of an issue for me. But long story short, I broke down 13, 14-ish minutes, and I didn't breathe for a while, which was bad. And then whenever my breathing came back, I kind of had to be like, all right, how do we get you out of here? So then I kind of forced myself to just deal with everything and then leave, which is not what you should do. You should take better care of yourself. I'm not a role model. I'm just a silly little guy, silly little girl. I'm just a silly little. I'm a human. But it was very, very scary, and it reminded me of how much that stuff affects me on the daily. Because not only am I autistic, I'm also once again, I don't like using terms like slightly and heavily, because it just doesn't fit the way spectrums work, but I am, if I had to be like autism, it's like full scale, full blown, world domination. If I had to be like, nail my ADD is like, we'll do a number out of 10. Autism, 10. ADD, like 6. ADHD, like 4. I have all 3. And they definitely don't kick my ass together. But, what was I saying? I'm sorry, I don't have a script or anything. I'm improvising all of this and like talking about it as it pops in my mind. But it reminded me how all of that stuff affects me on a day-to-day and how difficult it is. And not only do I deal with that, I also deal with a lot of stress. Some due to monetary things. I come from low-income families, like multiple. And some stressors that come from relationship stuff, stressors that come from just everywhere. Everybody has stressors, you get it. No matter where you're from, what you're dealing with right now, you have stressors, so you understand. And then on top of that, I have what is, I don't know what the actual diagnosis is. Long story short, the TLDR of it is, I'm incredibly depressed, but not because bad things happen. Even during the happiest moments of my life, I've been incredibly depressed. And I don't know how to handle that. And I am prone to have panic attacks because I am, I guess. And I got into my truck and I was driving home and I had to pull over because I go from having my autistic meltdown in the middle of a Walmart to on the freeway, me having a panic attack mid-driving. So that was great for me. I stopped and took a bit and and all of these things happening reminded me that this is a thing that I deal with every single day. There's not a day of my life where I haven't dealt with it. There won't be a day of my life where I don't, because no matter how much better I get at handling it, it's still there. And I was like, people on YouTube don't talk about this stuff. Like, the only people I can really point to and be like, oh, these people talk about it is like, Ethan Nestor talks about his ADHD. That's about it that I can like immediately think of. People just kind of don't talk about this, which is weird to me, because I feel like it's a thing that should be talked about. But bringing it up, I want to spend a little bit of time every once in a while talking about this stuff. I think I'm going to try not to pad this out too much longer and finish this up, but I would like to come back to this sort of topic later on in the future. Talk about experiences, maybe. Come on and talk about like stories. maybe do an episode of this where it's just me sitting down and explaining everything that I deal with. Maybe explain like, oh, my sensory issues here and da 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 da. But I see, to finish this off, I see my ADD, my ADHD, my autism, all of these things. I don't see them as disabilities. I don't see them as setbacks. I see them as a part of who I am. And on top of being a part of who I am, I see them as a part of who I will be and who I am proud of and who I will be proud of. And I don't ever want to look at those things as negative. I don't ever want to look at those things as problems, because they're not. They're part of me and I love them. And I want to talk about them because I love YouTube and I love talking about me and my life and things I want and things I do on YouTube. And due to that, I would like to talk about this more. There's a chance that I post this today. There's a chance I post it tomorrow. There's a chance I post it in January. There's a chance I don't post it until October 2025 because I'm spilling emotional issues out, so I don't know when this will come up. But whether 3 people see it, 1 person sees it, 50 people see it, 100 people see it, whatever, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about this to somebody. And more so than that, thank you for showing a genuine care for me and others who deal with the same things as me. It means a lot. It adds to it. I've been fidgeting with a part of my shaker this entire time. But take care of yourselves. Remember, drink water, eat something today, take very good care of yourself, clean yourself, and for God's sake, listen, the pubic stache doesn't look good on you, just shave it. I promise you'll look way better. I'll even find you attractive, and I don't like people. Till next time, I guess, guys. See you later.